All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and remove the exhaust, get it off the machine. We'll go ahead and install the Empire exhaust, and then we'll probably remove some body work so we can work on the air intake, the Dynojet controller and all that. So I imagine we'll probably remove the front fenders, front fascia, the grill, but for right now we're going to go ahead and get the exhaust removed from the machine. So we've got a Allen head bolt there, clamp, I believe two bolts on the back side where the grab bar hooks to. So we'll pull out the tailpipe and can assembly, and then the header pipe, two bolts up in the front. So that should come apart pretty easy. So I'm going to get to it and we'll jump back. All right, we're going to start off right here, this exhaust clamp for the tailpipe. It's a 6mm Allen. Go ahead and get it loosened up good, and now we're going to move to the back. All right, so on the can and the tailpipe assembly here, we got two 12mm bolts there holding that bracket on. So we're going to go ahead, get them zipped out here real quick. Hopefully this doesn't fall. All right, and then we got our clamp loose. We should be able to go ahead and slide this off. Just like so, and go ahead and pull it out the back. So on our header pipe, we got two 12mm nuts here on the front, and those are the ones that are on the stud here. So I'm going to go ahead and get those loosened up, and then we'll go ahead and pull the header off. All right, we're going to go ahead, save the nuts. I think we still need those, and we're going to slide the flange off. Be careful not to damage the exhaust gasket that's in there because we're going to use that. So I'm going to get this out of the way and clean up some of this stuff a little bit, and then we'll get the header pipe on from Empire. All right, the next thing we're going to do is going to remove this stock speed sensor here, and this is a 5mm Allen wrench. So once we get that off, what we're going to do is take the O-ring off of this and use the one that was provided from Empire, and it's kind of a block off plate, and then we'll take the sensor and everything and just zip tie it up out of the way because our splitter pipe is going to go right here. Just going to pull it out right there. And then we are going to take the O-ring off and put it on the provided plate from Empire. So as you can see, it's right here. So I'm going to use a pick, try to get it gently off there, like so. So here's the billet block off that was, got some cars going by, farmer here. This is the block off here for your speed sensor. So we're going to go ahead and put that where the factory one was, making sure not to damage the O-ring. Should pop right into place here. There we go. And then reassemble it, and then we will zip tie this up out of the way. All right, now we're going to go ahead, slip on our new header pipe. I'm going to go around to the back side here so we can get this up and in like so. We want to be careful that we don't damaged the gasket. So I'm going to come back to this side. Hopefully do this one-handed, so just like that. Looks good. So we'll get our flange started, but we're not gonna tighten it up all the way. We're just gonna tighten it up enough so we can still move the pipe around freely, so we can put our splitter pipe on, and then we'll come back and snug this up real good. We just want to make sure that we got the pipe kind of centered up there. So let's go around the other side and start working on the splitter. So as we look at the splitter, I mean, obviously this is going to go onto the header pipe. But if we look inside, there's an L and an R. And this is indicated on the left side of the bike and the right side of the bike as you're sitting on it. So this being the L is going to go to the left side. This is going to go to the right side. So it should go on just like that. All right, so I brought the splitter in from the back side, and it's going to slide over top of the header pipe like so. And the orientation makes sense because there's probably a spring that's going to go here and hold this together. There's plenty of springs provided in the kit. So we'll go ahead and, I don't think we're going to put the springs on yet, but we'll start lining up tailpipes and stuff next. So I got the right side tailpipe there slid onto the splitter. So now we just got some finagling to do here, and we'll get the left side hooked up. Let's go ahead and loosening this fender bolt up here temporarily so I can get room here to slide the pipe around. So we might have to adjust that bracket just a little bit. It's going to be pretty tight here. All right, what we're going to do now is, I don't know, I'm a little worried about my clearance back there, but we're going to go ahead and bolt the cans with the flange, with the provided gaskets here in the kit, and we'll get them lined up where we want to, get them bolted to the machine, and then we'll make some pipe adjustments and then tighten down the header and see where we're at. All right, so what we're doing here is we're just getting the cans bolted to the tailpipes. This bracket here on the can, this is going to be on the left side. Looks like it's going to go in the rear bolt. So we'll go ahead and get that in there, not super tight, and work our way to the other side, and then we'll work on buttoning up the front or the header pipe of the exhaust. So a couple of things that I had to alter, a lot of it's based off my setup here. When I mounted the cans to the pipe, they do mount on the forward bolt on the grab bar. Since I have an aftermarket, this is the Apple Racing grab bar, these brackets, or this arm is a lot thicker than the factory unit. So I had to go get about a 1/4 inch longer bolts to mount the exhaust up in there due to the thickness of the bracket on the can. So I think it was an M8 by 1.25, 25 millimeters long stainless steel bolt. So we got both of those mounted up, no problem. Could not reuse the factory bolts. The other thing that's not in the instructions is the left pipe. As it exits up out of the frame, you actually have to take this bolt out here on the fender, because it will not go up through here with the fender in place. So you have to kind of pull up, move the fender out of the way, and then I end up having to cut the corner of the fender right here to make clearance for that pipe. And if you look on the right side of the bike, that factory fender is already cut out for the exhaust. So I didn't have any issue just taking a utility knife, cutting that corner off there. I might try to clean it up a little bit better, but overall I'm happy with that. So putting on these springs here wasn't too bad actually. You could probably get them with a pair of needle nose pliers, or if you buy a a spring pulling tool. I actually made one years ago, basically just a pry bar, an old pry bar I had laying around. I took a die grinder and just notched out the side there so I could use it to grab a hold of springs and things like that. Worked out no problem. There's actually three. There's one here in the back on the crosser on the splitter pipe that goes over to the left tailpipe. One right here on the bottom that goes to the right tailpipe, and then just one main spring right there connecting the header and the tailpipe and splitter together. So there's no clamps or anything like that you got to worry about. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on, probably get this plastic off. We're going to start working on the Fuel Customs intake, and then we'll work on getting the DynoJet tune in. All right guys, so we are going to do a cold start here. This is a factory exhaust. This is before we put the big 3 on. So I've got a decibel meter here, free trial one that is. So we can see it's going to pick up the exhaust levels. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to hold it in the same spot every time up here, so we can get a good idea of what the exhaust level is at an idle. So let's go ahead and get it started. This is going to be the exhaust without the silent cores. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. Super happy with how this bike has kind of come together for me. The big 3, didn't realize how big of a difference it actually makes. It's very noticeable. You will definitely feel the difference when you get on the throttle. The throttle delivery feels a lot smoother. The power seems to come on a lot faster. Just very happy with it. The exhaust system I think sounds great. We're going to leave the quiet cores in there just to tone it down a little bit so it's not too obnoxious. The only thing we're not sure about yet, the heat shield situation. I rode it quite a bit with the setup, and it's not getting too hot where I'm afraid I'm going to burn myself, but we'll see how that goes, and we'll evaluate that down the road at a little later date. We also did the AIS delete. Used the block off plate, got rid of the valve up front and all the hoses, so it kind of cleaned up the front end. Made installation of the intake super easy. Everything come together pretty easy, as you can see. So if you guys like these videos, smash that thumbs up button, give us a share. If you like these, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Got lots of riding content coming up, reloading stuff. When the months change around a little bit, we're not so busy outdoors, we'll get back into some reloading content as well. But I appreciate you guys all very much. But until next time, God bless.